9.4 extension, choosing a solution method. So your last couple videos have all been really long. This one's going to be extremely short. So what is going on here is you've done ways that you can solve this. You've done factoring, which is in chapter 7. And then in this chapter, we did graphing, using square roots, completing the square, and using the quadratic formula. So we have all these methods, and you're probably wondering, like, when do you use them? Fun thing, your book has a list of all the different methods and when and why you would want to use them. So I'm going to talk about this just for a minute, and then you guys are going to be free to work on all the extension problems for the rest of the hour. So factoring, if something is already set up in factors, or if you can really easily see how you want to factor, that can be the best way to do it, but not everything can be factored, so you can't use it every single time. Graphing, if you have a graphing calculator, graphing is probably the fastest way to do it. However, it's not always going to give you exact solutions, and also if you don't have a graphing calculator, I think graphing takes the longest, and honestly, it's the one I would use the least if I don't have a graphing calculator. You can use square roots when the equations are set up pretty easily, like if you had x squared equals 25, you know, that's a pretty easy way to do it, but you can't always use it, so that's one of the disadvantages. So again, if you look at it and it's very obvious that you want to use square roots, then use square roots, but otherwise you're probably not going to use that. Completing the square is going to work best, like it says here, when a equals 1 and b is even. So like in this situation, completing the square might not be terrible because you have, actually the problem's up here, your coefficient of your x squared term is 1, this is 8, so it won't be too terrible to complete the square there. And then finally, the quadratic formula you can always use. It's going to give you exact solutions, so if you get something like the square root of 34, you can leave that in there. The problem with the quadratic formula is it can take a while to do. If you have a calculator with you, that's probably going to be your best method, though, is using the quadratic formula. So remember, you can always use the quadratic formula no matter what. These other ones you're going to want to pick and choose just depending on how the problem is set up. Of course, on your test, you're going to be told how to do some problems, and then some problems you're going to get to pick. So it's just really going to be up to you. So that's it. You just have a whole bunch of practice problems, like 1 through 12. So 12 practice problems to do, and this will just be good in giving you some practice and getting you ready for your test. So good luck with that.